Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to my florals series. In these videos, I have made 22, and today will be number 23 videos in this series that are all about florals and botanical type patterns. So these have been chosen from artists all over the world, and it has been just the most fun adventure. So I hope that you all have enjoyed it as much as I have. But today is the last day. So I've got my little sketchbook here, and then I have my 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch tiles from Zentangle.com. And these are all taped together to create my large garden. So we're gonna look at that at the end. We'll begin by drawing our last tangle in here, and then we'll go to the garden. So if this is your first video you happened upon, then you can go back and watch 22 other videos that explain this a little bit better and have just amazing and beautiful tangles. Okay, so here we go. We are on day 23. I can't even believe it. Yesterday was 22 and we got 2 tangles out of that one. All right, so for day 23, you guys are 23, is that the right? Yes, 23, okay. It was so hard to choose tangles because there are so many incredible ones, and people were sending me ideas of ones to pick, and I used some of those, but we're gonna do this again next May, and I know a year is a long time to wait. You can do floral tangles all year long, but I will be making another video series next May because there are just so many amazing ones that we didn't even get a chance to do. Okay, so for our last one today, some of you may recognize it. It is called Bloomerz. And it is by Jenna Black. I don't think that she's a CZT. If I'm wrong, then please correct me down below. Okay, Bloomerz. This one I did in a 15 minutes of Zen video, and it's just so much fun. And it's a great one to finish up our garden. Okay, so to make Bloomerz, we begin with a little oval, and if I can compare it to the size of my nails, it's pretty small. And I ink it in. And then I do an aura around it, but instead of doing a straight aura, I do a wiggly one. So I'm going to go like this. It looks like a little egg. All right, and then after you get that part, then we add the bottom, which is kind of like the bud or the body of the flower. And to do this, you can choose pretty much any shape that you want, but we're gonna do this first one just by making like a wide U shape. Like that. And then up here, where we made that first little oval, we're going to connect the oval to the sides. And you can really have those land wherever you want, but it's nice to kind of bend them a little bit to make it look curved. And it's nice if you can go to the part that dips in close. So you don't have to. And then on this side, I'm going to curve them the opposite way. See how that kind of makes it look like those little petals are popping out from the center. And then this area right here, you get to do whatever you want. So you can put in some thin lines. Or many other things. So let's make another one. Let's make one right here. a little wiggly aura. You can put in those little lines right now if you want. I do like them best when they connect to that part that dips in. And it makes each of those look like a separate petal. So for this one, let's go down a little bit and then out. And maybe on this one, we'll do flicks and dots. Isn't that so cute? All right, I'm gonna stop right there so we can add it to our garden because we have some other things to do as well. But this is Bloomerz, and there's so many variations. There's so many fun things that you can do. Let's draw a couple of bottoms. Like we can do that. We can do that. That. I don't know, what else? I guess that's all I got. But you could do so many different fun things. Okay, and you could also add some little toppers if you wanted. Okay, let's go to our gardens. I can't believe this is the last video. So let me get this all spread out. So those of you that don't know, I have made 2 videos for each tile. So this is video number 1, video number 2, 3, 4, etc. And we put in this cute little frame and we're adding embellishments as we go. But this is our garden. And it's so fun to read your, oh, I need more tape, to read your comments and have some of you say, this one was my absolute favorite, and others say, oh, I didn't love this one as well, or this was a challenge for me. And I just think it's been a fun variety. And some of them that we love and some of them that we struggled with. And I think that's the whole point of these challenges, right? Is to step out of our comfort zone a little bit. Okay, so we are on the last tile. And my garden's about to fall apart, so it's probably good that we're on the last one. All right, I'm going to begin by putting some Boulder Builder in there. And let me just sort of gather my garden here. So Boulder Builder is this. It's these cute little bricks that we did at the beginning, and then we did a few of them towards the middle, and they're just so cute. So I think I'm gonna end with exactly this, but the opposite way. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start with pencil. So I'm going to do, and I try to make these about the width of my pinky. It doesn't matter, but that's sort of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna do one there. And then a taller one here. And then I was gonna put one here, and I've got this plant kind of in the way, so I'm gonna let it go behind. So I'm just pretending like this plant is in front of it. And then I was gonna do one more right here, just to match that other side. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. After you get those in, then go ahead and draw them in with your pen. But what I want you to make sure of is that you draw it even in the corners. We don't want to necessarily use this corner as part of the brick. And I like to round my edges a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to ink in these little areas that are left behind in the background. And the other thing that I like to do on this one is to put in a thicker line, but with some little bumps in it. So it has a little bit more character than these ones. Just giving it some little bumps and then inking in those areas. It does not have to be a lot of bumps. It can just be more of a rough edge. And that thickens it. That also gives it some character. It's a good solid base for the end of this tangle or this tile. All right, after you get that in, then I like to add, so lightly with my pen, but just a couple of little cracks coming out and around. I like that. All right, time to add Bloomerz. I just can't believe we're at the end here. I can't believe it. 12 tiles, you guys. This has been so much fun. Okay, so for Bloomerz, I kind of want to make sure I have at least 3 in here. And I took up a lot of room with YOLO and a lot of room with the Boulder Builder. So I need to make sure I've got room for a couple of these. So I want one here, and I don't need much room at the top of them, just enough to add that little aura. So I'm gonna do one right there. And then I'm gonna place one here, and I'm kind of hoping that they overlap a little bit. And I think I'll place one right here. If you just want to start with 1 or 2, that's okay. All right, I'm going to add in that wiggly aura on each of them. Look like little flying saucers right now. And then I'm going to add those lines going out to the little parts that dip in. And you can curve them slightly to give it a little bit more of a bumped look. That looks so cute. Those would be cute just by themselves and add a little stem to them. All right, I'm going to do this one first because I feel like it's going to be the closest to me. So I'm going to come down and out, down and out. This one I'm just going to give a nice big round bottom to. And I think this one I'll do round as well. So it would bump in here, it would come around and out that way. Okay, let's add in some details. So this one behind here, I think that would be a fun one to have some texture on. So I'm going to do those really thin lines, but I'm going to lift my pen every once in a while to give it that look of a little reflection. And I do the first line straight in the middle. And then I do the rest of them curving outward to match the side. Okay. I think this next one, I'm going to do the little flicks and dots. I'm going to go up kind of high on those. And I'm going to also curve those a little bit to the side, just to give that illusion again of it curling back a little bit. And this last one, I'm going to do some tall lines with more bold dots. You can do whatever you want. That one I didn't have room for a dot, so I've got one less dot than I do lines, and it's okay. All right, I've got a really curvy YOLO stem going on here, so I'm going to make these stems nice and straight. If you want to make them wider at the top, you can. And then I think for the leaves, I don't have a lot of room, but I think for the leaves, let me see. I think I'm just going to do like this little spiral that's over here on YOLO. So like on this one right here, I'm just going to come up and give it a little spiral. See how that kind of matches then what we've got going on over there? And at the end of the spiral, if you want to give it that little fescue type look, you can do that. That makes it similar, but just different enough. All right, how's it going? Right, I want to add some embellishments, but first I want to show you one last embellishment. I'm going to put it into my little notebook here. That very first page, I've been just leaving, I left a page open to add cute little embellishments that we can add. And so today, I got to go over to the other page here next to it. Today I thought it would be fun to add a bijou snail. So bijou is the mascot of Zentangle Incorporated, and there's all these little bijouisms about slowing down and breathing and focusing and appreciating. So I thought it'd be cute to add a little bijou snail. Okay, so let's zoom in just a little. All right, so pretend like this is our ground. So when Maria, the founder of Zentangle, one of the founders, when she created this little bijou, she did it with a beautiful calligraphy pen, and it gives it this like thin line, thick line depth, and it just is amazing. So I can't quite replicate that, but it is pretty adorable. Okay, so we're gonna do a spiral. I'm gonna start like about that far from the ground, and I'm gonna start going around, and I'm gonna try to thicken on that left side if I can. And we're making this kind of clunky. And then I'm just curling back up. I can go back and add a little more thickening to those sides if I want. And then she does this cute little, again, just kind of like not round, not perfect. Put a little bit of weighting maybe on the bottom, but that's kind of his back or his tail. I don't know what you would call it. And then for his head, she does again this sort of clunky, like perfect, but also clunky little shapes that come out for his head. And probably one last smaller one for the head. And then for the antenna, she goes down thick and then light, thick and then light. And you can even go back and add some thickening to the bottom. There's our little bijou. All right, let's add him to our page. So I'm going to put him right here on the ground. If you have room on top of one of your boulders, you can, or you can put him up here if you would like. That would be adorable. But I'm going to put mine right down here for right now. So I start with that little dot just to give myself an area to begin. And as I go around, I press down kind of hard on my pen when I get to that left-hand side. And then I'm going to do his little tail, or whatever it's called. And his little head up there. And give his antenna some thickening. You can even curve it in between the two and make it thicker right there. He's so cute. I'm going to put in my grass that I do on every tile. Ink it in. Maybe I'll do a tiny bijou up here. He's so small, so cute. And then for other embellishments on this last tile, if you want to add any of these little leaves or little spirals, you can. So I'm going to put a spiral coming out onto my little bricks there. See how it looks kind of whimsical. And I'm going to put one coming down from here. And one up there. And I'll add an orb, because we've got the orbs on YOLO. I feel like I need one more there. All right, you guys, we did it. Okay, so before I do some shading, I want to add my initials. And I would love for you to do the same on your garden. Okay. All right, let's do a little bit of shading. So I've had trouble shading my boulder builder. I don't know why, it's just caused me some stress, but here's another way I saw it done, where you can do like just the left-hand side and the top, and you can push that shading up and like that. And then it kind of makes it look like this part is in front. So you shade it however you would like. I think I've shaded it differently every time I've made it, but I'm not too concerned because it's not even a real boulder, you guys. It's just for fun. Still look like I want a little on the other side. Okay, bloomers, I'm going to go underneath the petals that go over that bulb part. I'm also going to go around the dark ovals in the center. And I'm going to put some on the bottom as well. When we push that up a little bit, it's going to make it look like that center is closest to the light and that bottom and top are a little bit further from the light. Because I have YOLO going over this one, I'm going to add a shadow where it crosses over. And I like to add a little bit on the stems. There we go. We did it. Okay. So 2 more things I was considering. So one of them is I thought it would be cool to go back and inside the entire frame of all 12, we give it just a tiny bit of graphite. Let me do this one so you can see how it looks. Right tight up against it, and then even down at the bottom where the grass is. And then what that's going to do is just sort of separate that frame from the paper from the garden inside. See how my light is really bright, but see how it just kind of gives it that little bit of, the frame is white and bright, but the background's got a little bit of shadow. You could also take your blending tool and you could put a little bit around the outside of some of your plants. You wouldn't even have to do every single one. And I know that's a little time consuming, but that will also give the illusion that the background is a little bit different than the frame. So, so pretty. The other thing I was thinking about doing, and I don't think I'm going to, but I may change my mind later, is I wanted to do another little frame to give this like 2 lines. And then this outside one, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be brave and do it, you guys. That way if I mess it up and you're like, no way, I don't want to do it, then you'll know. Okay, so I was just thinking I would, and I'm letting it be wiggly because I think that adds character. Let's see. This one. And then across the top, I would just do it until I reached like a little embellishment, and then I would jump over it. Okay, I love it. I'm doing it to the whole thing. Doesn't that just make it look a little bit more whimsical? You could even add some shading in there or some little like lines or embellishments. Okay, let me do it to the next one as well. Okay, I do love it. Just lifting at the top, just this little hint of another part of the frame. And then look at the tile on the right compared to the tile next to it with that little bit of shading. Isn't that a huge difference? So I'm going to do that again. To each one, I'm going to add this pencil there and down here by the grass. The grass has more of the dark. It's going to be harder to notice, but I like still knowing it's there. And I soften this and I just pull it out towards the center a little bit. And then with my blending, oh, I got to the bottom, hold on. Jumping ahead of myself. Okay, with my blending tool still having some graphite on it, I can add some little shadows around some of the elements. Again, it's subtle, but I do love it. Okay, let's do another comparison. Let's compare this one to this one. See how that extra frame, you guys, I'm so glad I was brave enough to do it. That little extra frame adds so much, and the shading adds so much. Okay, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do all 12 tiles, but I will post a video on my Facebook page of the completed piece, probably in video form, because there's not really a way to take a picture of the entire thing. And I love just adding these little shadows around some of the plants. Oh, I love it. And now that little extra frame. So one thing I was going to do in this video that I don't think I'm going to do now is I was going to go tile to tile and add some embellishments, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Instead, I encourage you to look at your embellishment page with your cute little bees and dragonflies and, oh, I know, I was going to tell you, the little dragonfly that I like to make with a spiral body, I just feel like I've been making that forever, but then I realized that Debbie Monero does one, and I think it's called Buzzy. Oh, I don't remember now, but I've got room right here, so I'm going to do it. So she does this cute little spiral and then adds the dragonfly leaves, and then up here she does 2 dots, which I just think is so cute. On mine I added antenna, but on hers she adds these little dots. Okay, anyway, look at your embellishment page, and if you have open spaces that feel like they need to be filled, then choose any of these embellishments or little bugs or little leaves or spirals or fescue or anything and add them wherever you want. I can't stop looking at these tiles that have that shaded part and the extra frame compared to the other ones. It's just like magic. All right, I'm going to work for another second or two, but I just wanted to talk about a couple of things coming up. So this is the end of this video series, but if you bought the May kit, then you have the cute little canvas pencil bag, and I'm going to post a video on Saturday of how to draw on that bag, and so that's going to be a really fun video. And if you don't have a canvas little pencil bag, but maybe you want to go pick one up or order one on Amazon, you can get a tote or a pencil bag or anything you want, and an Identa pen, and then you can draw tangles on things, and it's just so much fun. Look how cute this is. Okay, I'm going to stop right there for a moment. I need to add some tape because my garden came apart. All right, I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to do 2 pieces of tape just to make sure it doesn't fall apart again. Okay, so now I just wanted to zoom away for a second. Okay, so I wanted to show you something. If you would like to display this in your home, it's a strange, unique, long piece of art. It's not very easy to display, but one thought that I had is to put it up like above a window or below a window and have it just be kind of the border of a window. Wouldn't that be so cute? So that's one idea. The other idea I had is just to like zigzag fold it like this, or accordion fold it, however you would say it. And then if you have a piece of twine, which I did a few minutes ago, here it is. This is one that was in the kit. Some of you got twine, some of you got like a little bit thinner, but you can take this and you can just tie it around here and keep this little booklet just tied up and you know, in a cute little corner or in a dish sitting there when you want to look at it. You can take that off, and then you can actually view it just by going like this, just by flipping these pages. And you don't even have to open the whole thing up. And it's still, I love how it's like a little booklet, but the patterns like fall over to the next page. Isn't that so amazing? Okay, another option is to take, you should have 2 extra tiles if you didn't like make any mistakes and you still have your 2 extras. And you can put those on here. I'd probably do mine like this. And you could add a piece of fabric or scrapbook paper or a cute little title, and then you open it up, and then your florals begin. So that would be cute. You could even write a little journal entry on this one of just what it was and what your month was like, what was on your heart and on your mind that whole month. So that would be a cute idea. Okay, the last idea is to take your whole thing and open it up like in sections of 2, and then tape these 2 together, the 2 ends, and then you end up with a star like this. And you can add little bits of tape to make those all stay. And then you could take a piece of twine or string or anything, and you could put it, this is not going to work well, but I mean the way I'm doing it. Okay. Anyway, once you get them all taped kind of together, you could take a piece of string like this, and then it becomes this little thing that you can hang from a hook somewhere in your home if you've got a little art studio. And then you just have this cute garden that's like an infinite garden. It just kind of keeps going and going and going, and you can see all the sides of it. So that was the other idea. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do. I'll probably tie it together and set it aside, and if I ever need a floral, I'll open it. Okay, so you have that. And then if you still have your florals sketchbook, I encourage you to use the last pages to add more florals. Just look up Zentangle Florals and you'll find all kinds of amazing patterns. Okay, so the one thing is that we're gonna do the canvas pencil bag. The other kind of bonus video that will come out sometime next week is the watercolor plus Zentangle. So my girlfriend Audrey and I sat down yesterday. It took us way too many takes and way too many hours and lots of giggling and messing up and redos and whatever. But I taught her how to do some Zentangle florals, and then she taught me how to add watercolor to them. So you will get that video sometime next week. I'm hoping on Monday, but we'll see if we can get it put together by then. And then if you want to go back and add color to your garden, which some of you already have with colored pencil or markers, you could also do watercolor if you wanted. So that will be a really fun video also. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate every view. I appreciate every subscription. I appreciate every super thanks. You guys have been amazing and so supportive. So please go to Let's Tangle on Facebook, and I'll do a show and tell there, and you can share your work with us. And we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.